Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Ryando's Computer Service here. We're going to try something different tonight. It's kind of warm in here earlier, so I had to kind of strip down a little bit, but now that it's cooled off, it was kind of a rather interesting day. Started my day out with church services. That's always good. The reason I'm doing it on the stream on my Lenovo laptop, I couldn't find the webcam. It's been buried in this mess for the time being, but we'll just make do with this computer, get some use out of it. It's been sitting for several weeks since it's been used. It amazes me how long the batteries lasted without even being plugged in. So, caught up on some maintenance records and stuff today, and then had 2 service calls in the Appleton area. The thing that amazes me the most is going through Appleton. The layout of the streets are very confusing. You think you're in one part when you're really not. And sometimes even the way that the road is set up and the way that the lines are, during daytime is fine, you can see that, but at night you would think that Appleton, when they paint it, that would have like a reflectant to it, but it just. But then again, I don't go through Appleton on a daily basis, so I'm more familiar with Sheboygan, Green Bay, Two Rivers, Manitowoc, Kiel. I don't even get into Milwaukee all that often, or Madison, but depends on where my job takes me, or any service calls. I still get service calls here at the office where people show up and stuff like that. But I don't mind traveling either. It's kind of fun. Get in the car, go somewhere, and the only thing that kind of annoys me is when you go on Facebook Marketplace to buy something, that everybody insists on you just throw money under a rug, and you don't even get to interact or have a conversation with the seller. I don't know. Last 2 items I just recently purchased through. Oh, that was just my friend that went by, but that's not really relevant to. I don't know. When you go to buy something, it's kind of cool to have a conversation with the buyer. It's like if you go buy a car off of Marketplace and the owner of it doesn't want to see you in person, that they're afraid that they're going to catch the plague from you. And I'm thinking, I can see that they're afraid, but if I was selling something on Marketplace, I wouldn't make them stand outside or make them hide money under the rug and tell them to get out of there. I'd probably sit and have a conversation with them for a little bit, fight them in or something. Especially if they come. It's local, one thing, but there's some people that are willing to travel 30, 40, 50 an hour, 2, 3, maybe 4 hours to go get something that they want or would like, and I don't know, just I kind of like talking with different people, but it's kind of discouraging when you go somewhere and they don't want to interact with you, and I don't know, maybe that's just me, maybe that's the new norm for 2021. But it's still interesting traveling around into different cities. And no, I haven't bought anything out of state yet, but maybe that'll come eventually. I just think life is a lot of interesting things that are going on right now behind the scenes all over the world. And I'm not going to get into the specifics on here because the YouTube police will terminate me permanently if I ever talk about it. So we're not going to bring that up. But most of you know what's going on out there. And in that retrospect, but all I can tell you is that there's a lot of arrests coming. And basically the government in Italy has collapsed. Well, actually, a technicality, they actually got arrested. But when you do illegal stuff, you got to pay for your consequence. Doesn't matter what you did. If, let's say, you got a speeding ticket, for instance, and if you got a fine or something, go take care of it. Don't sit and ponder on it and hope that it's gonna go away. Or if you broke a law or something, or you're got incarcerated for a crime or something. If you can't do the crime, then don't do it in the first place. That's kind of how I look at it. But as far as other topics, I will motivate myself to make some more tech videos. I'm just kind of thinking maybe tomorrow, if I don't end up running up to Luxembourg or Appleton or Green Bay, we'll wait and see. New big thing that's going on with Fiat Chrysler right now is, well, let's take a quick look here. Who bought out Fiat Chrysler? Let's take a look at Motor Trend now. Sad thing is, Chrysler only makes like 2 vehicles. Basically, the 300 and the Pacifica and the Voyager. And honestly, the Voyager van is still kind of expensive, in my opinion. If I was going to buy another minivan, I'd buy the Dodge Caravan before buying the Voyager. Because the Caravan, you can get that for starting at around $24,000 base model. And you still get the backup camera and all that other good stuff. So you're not missing out on too much. I'd more than likely would probably either buy a Durango or I'd buy a Dodge, buy a truck. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean Ram, rather. So Fiat Chrysler and PSA Group will have a new name, Stellantis. Fiat also owns the brand of Jeep, Alfa Romeo, Fiat, Lanza, and some odd Italian name that I'm not even 100% sure on, or even close on how to pronounce it, but that's rather interesting. I think last year, the year before, the French car company Renault wanted to buy out Fiat Chrysler, but I don't believe that ever panned through. But actually, since Fiat bought out the Chrysler brand and the Ram and Dodge and Jeep, I think their vehicles have actually, the reliability rate of them has actually gotten better. There's going to be some people that are going to argue saying that Fiat and stuff is a bunch of crap, but their engineering and their intuitiveness of some of the features and some in the engineering behind the transmissions. And for a while back in like the 90s and to mid 2000s, the Dodge trucks had transmission problems. And I admit I'm a Mopar fanatic, but not everything that they make is perfect. And even Fiat stuff's not 100% perfect. But if you think about, each car company has their own flaw. Like GM has their own flaws with some of their vehicles, like the Equinox, eating tons of oil and catalytic converters falling out. Man, who would want a car like that? Before I bought something like that, I'd buy myself a Tahoe. If I was gonna get the Tahoe, I'd probably get the police interpreter edition, where you got the LED spotlight on the driver's side of the car, and you got the black rims and get the dark gray. I don't know, it's just me, but I think it'd be kind of fun to have a Tahoe. Not that you do anything illegal with it, but it'd just be kind of cool in that. Well, in other news, things are starting to pick up around here, getting a few more customers than I did before, so that's always good. And I finally got that ASRock board in, but I'm still waiting on that AMD Ryzen Core 5 processor. And I guarantee you, once I get those parts in, we'll make a video on putting that together. And yeah, Gigabyte is overrated anyway. They don't make that good of boards. And it's not because I screwed up on putting it together either. And I'm not saying that all Gigabyte boards are bad. I'm just, you buy one and it doesn't work right away, you move on and you go to a brand that you know that's dependable. So that's, and we'll use Crucial Memory in that build. But as far as everything else, you got the power supply, you got the CD drives and the hard drives, and what would be really cool, because that board features M.2, be cool to do away with those mechanical hard drives, put a couple of M2s on a motherboard, and then put a couple of solid state drives for storage. The downside of solid state is if it ever dies, and they've been prone to go out, the data is not recoverable compared to a traditional mechanical drive. So it's not, solid states are great, but just I don't depend on them as my primary source of storage in instances like that. There's an interesting YouTuber called Carrie, I think Hoseman or Hazelman or something, and he's from out west. He does a lot of computer builds and he has his own business. He's got a lot of nice content. When I started doing videos and that, I had more time to actually sit and edit them. But since I'm on the road and not doing work and stuff, I don't get as much time. So live stream is just as good, in my opinion. It's better than not doing anything. So And there's also some other content that we're going to be talking about. So as far as, I don't know, let's go to Amazon real quick. There's a camera that just became available that kind of caught my eye. That wasn't the one I was looking for. I see they got 4K webcams out, but the problem is it's not the camera itself and it's not the computer that can handle the, the quality of the video feed or process of the video. It's a lot of times it's your internet connection that puts a damper on a lot of the content or high quality or how crisp and HD your picture looks on. Like this camera that's on this Lenovo IdeaPad here, that's only like a 1.2 megapixel. But for my internet service and for the router just being in that corner, it's handling itself quite well. And it's not glitching out as badly as some of the other laptops I've used in here doing streams and or desktops doing that. So I recommend using a webcam on your laptop. If you want to go ahead, it doesn't matter to me what you use. It depends on your internet service and how much bandwidth and how much data you and how many megabits per second you have. If you got fiber internet, chances are you'd have an easier time uploading 1080 pixel videos and even 4K without any major problems. So we're gonna get back to it. Actually, I'm gonna put in professional camera. Professional. Professional camera. So if I was gonna buy like a digital or a still camera for $599, you can get yourself the Canon ES 3-bill T7 DSLR camera. You get a lens, you get batteries, you get a couple of SD chips, you get different color lenses and lens accessories, and then you get a tripod and all that other in a carrying bag. But I hear that Sony is starting to step up in the game as far as cameras. Because I was watching a video the other day on the Sony A7 third gen L or ILC CE7MB full frame micro or mirrorless lens camera. And frankly, from a lot of the features that were shown in the video, I was actually quite impressed with all that you can do. But the only way I would buy something like that if I was a serious YouTuber or a serious photographer I use a combination of different cameras. I got a couple of cheaper ones. I got a Sony Cybershot. That's a 14 megapixel. I got that for Christmas about a decade ago. Okay, maybe about a decade ago. I still use the camera to this day. It works. Takes decent pictures for what it is. Video quality, I would say it's compared to this camera that's on this computer, but it's not bad. And I use an older Kodak 8 megapixel camera sometimes. It was one that my grandparents owned, and then they upgraded to a Canon. I think they the PowerShot X SX540, except theirs is not a Wi-Fi enabled camera, but that doesn't matter to them. And I've used their camera numerous times. I've used it for taking movies. I've used it for taking pictures, and there's a lot of features, and you can change the appearance of the picture, like from portrait to sun or darker or red eye removal. So it's a horse apiece with that camera for what it is. Would I buy something like that? Yeah, I probably would. So no, I'm not looking for a camera stabilizer. Let's see what they got for professional. I don't know, $139 for one just seems kind of cheesy. I'd be more likely to take a professional camera seriously for starting at $409. Basically, you have a shotgun mic and you have an LED, you got an LED light on there that's specifically made for filming, and it makes it so that you can see what you're filming at night. And the sitting to actually stare into it, that's a no-no, because you could blind yourself. So it is what it is. I'm not really in the market right now for a professional camera, but maybe someday. You'll see the Panasonic for $1,697. It's a 4K. It's the X1500 camcorder with 24 optical zoom, Wi-Fi, HD live streaming. But I would have to say my other choice would be the Sony HXR NV100 Full HD. I don't need a 4K camera. Heck, my most recent current computer at this point is a Dell XPS. It's not really capable of 4K yet, but heck, my newest monitor here in the office is probably this Dell sitting behind me. I think it's either. No, I got an Ace. I don't actually know what I have for a newest monitor. It's hard to keep track of what the dates are, and some of them I've had I scrapped because either they quit working or they got knocked on the floor. by a previous owner, and they didn't realize it. So enough on that news. So as far as like, let's take a moment and we'll talk about custom built computers. Honestly, it kind of excites me what you can all stick into them. And so let's just get my adding calculator out here. Everybody sees me with this because they're like, "Oh, he's an accountant." On the side, trust me, anybody that runs a shop or a store never hurts to have one of these on hand. Turn it on. It also helps when you're writing up bills and estimates and estimating on how much material you're going to need for a job, or how much it's going to cost for the materials or for the job, or how many square feet of something you need, or lineal feet, or so. It serves its purpose for that too. I could sit and write it down on paper, but then in this business, you need to, when you're making out invoices and that, you need to get it done as fast as possible. So, okay, let's take a look at cases. Uh, no, I don't want a case for Samsung Galaxy S5. What does Amazon think I am, stupid or something? I got a different selection here. Most of these big fancy ones I don't care for. If I was going to build a custom built, it would be in, it's, okay, so let's just take a quick look here. So I got different brands. You got Corsair, you got NZXT, Coolmaster. I don't know. Let's get creative here and pick something that nobody normally would pick for a case. Not what I was looking for exactly. I was looking for cream colored computer cases. I was just thinking for a second. I've been going since 6 this morning. It's not too bad. All right, we're just gonna pick the John's Bro Windows version of the case. It's not my first choice, but I'm getting kind of tired here, and I just wanted to wrap it up, and I'll see actually get a top cooling, top fan with that. So we'll start out at case starting at $99. So we got close out that tab. So we've got different brands to pick from. But we definitely probably want to go 7 to 799 watts. But let's see here. What's a good one to pick from? We'll stick with the EV or the EVGA branded 700 watt semi FDB fan, 5-year warranty. So it's, or we could go Corsair, or you could go Phoenix AMD. So let's say we went with the $216. So far, we're at $306, and here's where it gets tricky. All right. Did you hit that when your glasses slide down on you? Oops. So as far as motherboards, Gigabit is definitely out of the picture. Okay. Sorry about not getting distracted. I got a lot on my mind at the moment. Sure, why not? Let's go. Okay, we'll take a look here again. Let's pick out ASRock, just to do a comparison. I'll do one for $90. Or maybe we'll do the 107. I believe that's an Intel. So yeah. Okay, so we got ASRock P450 Steel Legend socket AM4 AMD from Moratory DDR4 quad Crossfire X with USB SATA or SATA SATA 3 USB and 2 absorbed for the what did I re-absorb? That was in there. I was reading something else. Oh well. So we'll wait and see what I come up with. Oops. Didn't want to do that. So by 400. So AMD CPU. All right. So as far as the Ryzen core, you got your Core 5s and your Core 7s. Probably, for sure. All right, let's just go with the $200 one I know is reputable. I fudged my numbers on 99.99. All right, let's start over. Now we're gonna do it again. All right, let's see here. So we're at $614 so far with just those few components. Whoops, not FFR4. It's supposed to be DDR4. DDR4 RAM. So it depends on what you're doing and how much you need. You can get 8 gigs, 12, 16. You can get 24. So we're just gonna go off the top of my head. The $69 OLO memory. So we're at $684. And okay, so next. Oh, let's do the GeForce 4 gig 128 bit GDR6. So now we're up to $984.93. And sound card. What the heck? Let's go with the expensive one. $1,131. Okay, as far as network cards here, they got different varieties. You got your Intel, you got your G-Base, you got even StarNet, Realtek, TrendNet. So let's roughly put it for $91. $1,223 so far. Okay. One TV. All right. Let's just 195. 41. So we're at 1,000. Well, so let's say that we decide to add a couple of M2. Okay, let's take a look here. All right. Enough of this daydreaming and get serious here. Okay. So for the 4 terabyte Western Digital It runs about 89.99. So we're at $1,506 sunk into it so far. So it's pretty much the stuff you can get for those, or for if you ever decide to do it. Custom built wouldn't be the worst to. It's not as easy as it seems done, but that's a different idea I had in my head. But so we're gonna conclude on the computer, and we're gonna finish out one last piece of interesting advice, and so we'll go ahead. Put that over here. Shut this off, and we'll put it back over in that pile of stuff. This has never really crossed my mind, period. But when you're buying office chairs and you're buying chairs for your clients and stuff like that, have you ever noticed that in a regular chair that you slouch over and that you're leaning forward and you're always constantly fidgeting around to try to find a comfortable spot? Well, it just came to my attention from one customer that complains that the chairs are too uncomfortable to sit on. So I fixed that problem, and I got a few of them gel things that they claim that you can put an egg on and sit on it and not crack it. But I'm not going to test that and find out, because chances are it's going to break and you're going to be mad. And so don't tell them why I suggested that. Actually, I really didn't, but well, even for yourself, if you're sitting behind your desk all day working and you got a chair that doesn't do you much justice, you might want to get yourself one of those cushions or pillows or whatever they call them, things that when you're sitting there, as you're sitting up more straighter and you're not so hunched over. Because that could lead to a lot of major back problems and stuff like that. So what you do is you just get yourself something like this, and they work quite well. You're not going to find those in retail stores. You might have to go online and go through different suppliers and stuff like that, but get yourself something like that. And when you're working behind a computer, you're driving or sitting in a chair, that'll keep you more aligned. It'll keep you. It's better for your posture, better for your spine. So that was something that a customer that works in the chiropractic industry recommended. So I thought I'd just spread that news to you. And then last but not least, I'm thinking about starting a second channel or possibly getting into ministry. I'm not sure yet, but I think it's coming. I'm not sure when I'm going to make that yet, but I know it's not. I'm not going to be doing ministry in here, but my season here is coming to an end soon. So, and I've been telling you this. By the April, May, I'm going to be out of here. But as far as liquidation of that, I'm still probably going to liquidate certain items. I'm not sure if I'm going to build a place or what. I may even try to talk to the next door neighbor about his place, because he's not really using that much right now. But this place isn't really viable anymore. It's kind of gotten to a point where the landlord is not really interested in renting out the rest of the building as part of one lease. And since the rent is going up in that, I can't justify it anymore. So maybe I'll cash an IRA or whatever, and not an IRA, but a bond or investment, and just buy some land, put up a building or something. Problem with a place like this, if you have just one room, it's hard to keep everything straight, everything organized, and professionally well kept. It's nice to have a back room or a junk room where you just pile your project stuff in one room. Sure, you still work on stuff out in the main area, but what you do is you keep the mess and the clutter out of sight, out of mind. So that's the next place I get. I kind of would like to have at least 2 rooms. So that's, I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens. And actually, well, we're gonna jump back on the other topic real quick that we are just talking about. No, I think we pretty much concluded everything that there was to talk about this evening, or now it's morning, but I just want to thank everybody watching that tuned in. I'm sorry that these videos aren't more exciting at times, but sometimes you just kind of gotta make do with what's going on and stuff like that. So God bless everybody. Take care, and as soon as I get more things figured out, we'll sit down and discuss it. So we'll see you later.